is when I started to ask you that question, you seemed like you didn't have an answer. And here we are.
And I just felt like in my deepest heart, like I needed to create a crash. The lyrics are sludgy. It's a little alarming, a little bit like ugly. And it feels like I'm taking a little bit of that off, you know?
Channel. I'm Alicia. I'm host of the New Rock Show, and today I am joined by a very special guest. He is the frontman of one of LA's, I would say, most exciting emerging new bands, Classless Act. But when he isn't doing that, you can catch him releasing some really wicked bangers solo. Yes. Only Derek Day.
Yeah, what's going on, Alex?
We're back.
Round four.
Next time.
Next time, no worries. Your presence is special enough. Your presence is a present.
It's been 2 years since we last did something like this, and I was really happy to see that you are well and you're back. But I obviously have to ask you, how is life? How are things going? Before we get into everything.
Life is really cool. It's been a little uphill in a sense of I don't know. There's been progress. Like I've been changing diets and experimenting with how my sleeping times and stuff. I've just been experimenting in life, and not in like the 1960s way, like in the modern age young artist way kind of a thing. Like I've been cutting out bread and that's really hard.
Okay.
Stuff like that. I'm just like, but just for the sake of it, I'm learning a lot about like my physical body and just kind of staying alert and detoxing, not just from certain foods and stuff and liquids, but like also from like ideas, if that makes any sense.
I wondered what your first ever memory of music was. Not even as a musician, but just your first memory where you think, oh yeah, that was a moment with me and with music.
Whoa. I think a couple come to mind because I'm never really sure what age I was at certain times. I think my very first was like listening to NSYNC when they were coming out. I think it was like 98 or something. And so I was like about 5 years old or something. And then if you talk to my parents, they'll say that I used to sing all the time as a baby, like as a 1-year-old. I used to sing along to like commercials that had like "We Will Rock You." I would sing la la la, la, la stuff like that. Like So I was very vocal, but I don't necessarily remember those things. But yeah, like something around 4 or 5, I would hear the pop band, the boy bands come on because that's when they were explosive and everywhere. And I would like drive around the local freeway right here. I also remember like going to first grade and a kid asking me what my favorite artist was. And I was just like in first grade or something. And I thought that was like, it was the first time anyone ever asked me about music. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know I was supposed to have opinions yet. I'm just like trying to learn how to write and stuff. So it was the first opinion-based question. Like, it wasn't even like what your favorite color was. And so, like, in my head, I heard 50 Cent, but only because I knew about the money, money is cents and pennies. So I was just like, 50 Cent? I just said it, but I never heard him before. That's like one of my my first or second memory was, that's a cool question. I like that.
What about like your first like discovery with rock, and then like did that really pave did it pave the way for you to like want to be in that world yourself? Like was there a standout artist that you thought, this is like for me?
I heard a lot of disco growing up just because my mom loved to just blast it, and sometimes disco touches on rock. Like you would hear like um like All of My Love by Led Zeppelin. It was a
Mm,
mid-70s pretty song that kind of a lot of disco fans loved. So it's like they kind of broke through to that. So I would hear that a lot at the house. And so like
yeah.
so I would hear these like rock-esque songs that from rock bands that were out of their element. So when I heard that, I still wasn't into it. I was like, this is not really okay, it's cool. It's kind of like not my vibe. But I still loved it. I preferred like ABBA as opposed to that.
Yeah.
But then like Eric Clapton got pretty like sentimental in the 80s and stuff, and he Our Wonderful Tonight and all that stuff. So when I
Mhm.
heard like I heard Layla, and that's when I was like, I
Oh,
want to do this.
I love that
Yeah,
song so much.
I know, right? And the ending is like I've never appreciated the ending for what it was until I
Mm,
grew up a little bit. I was like, wow, like the piano leading the way is like such a beautiful thing. No,
yeah.
but like yeah, Layla was like when I was like, oh, I want to create that. I thought it was a violin. I thought it was such a.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, if there was like a layer in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just that's what made me want to pick up something to create that.
What about songs that you love that you would never skip? So like it comes on shuffle and you're not gonna shuffle it. You're gonna listen.
Oh wow, that's great. It's I barely listen to music these days, so like
No way, really?
yeah, just because I'm in like right mode or I'm in like I don't want to be influenced too much. So
Mm.
it's been years honestly since I've listened to music for pleasure. It's crazy.
No. Oh my
Yeah,
God, do you
yeah.
miss it? Do you miss that in a way, or
I
is that the
In a
sacrifice
way,
you make?
yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah, like to get into it. But I find that if I it's way more impactful now. If I listen to something new, or if I put on a full, it has to be a full length album. I listen top to bottom. I try to do it like when I can, so it doesn't be interrupted. And I just my whole next few weeks are encompassed by that artist, whatever it is. It doesn't matter the genre or anything.
Mm.
So it's like this cool, like beautiful, like going to the going to like a weird virtual experience thing for me.
Yeah.
But even then, like if it's almost anything Bowie. If it comes on, I'm like, oh, I have to hear the rest of this for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, Anything like, but
Mhm.
it like something interesting, like a prog band that has something interesting with something to say. I'll tend to be like, let me just hear the end of this because I'm always trying to find like, what's this weird thing here? What's going? Where's it gonna go? So stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't believe that you don't really get to listen. That's so like that's something I never even thought about with you. Like, when you listen, yeah, you're gonna get influenced and then it might change, especially because you always say that you like to be like really experimental and weird is the way that you phrase it. I haven't said that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you like to do. And yeah, I can imagine like it might drive you into being like a bit more like commercial or something. Maybe if you listen to like popular stuff and yeah.
Totally. Oh yeah, totally. If I'm listening to popular stuff, I will start writing like pop music, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of artists do that. Like, or a lot of artists listen to. I've had writing sessions where they just kind of they reference artists a lot. Like, oh, it could be like Foo Fighters thing,
Mm.
and I'm like, why are you doing that? Why can't it be a you and I thing? Like, obviously, our influences are going to come through, but let's not jump into saying let's write like this band. Like it's
Yeah.
actually kind of a pet peeve of mine.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's what makes your brain tick. And I want to ask you as well, like what you've been up to in the last couple of years, even though I kind of know because I follow you on social media.
Mhm.
I know there's been a lot of standout stuff happening over the last, I think, like couple of years since we last chatted. And you've had like loads going on. Like, I don't, how do you fit it all in? I actually do not know. You're like superhuman.
Oh wow, thank you.
Um, yeah, so you've had a lot going on, and if you need help with like being reminded of anything, I've got like a mental note up here of things that I've noticed that you did. But like out of all of the things that you might have experienced music-wise over the last couple of years, is there anything that's like stood out to you as being something that maybe evokes something in you so much that you'd think, oh, if I had the opportunity, I'd really like love to like relive that moment? Or
wow, my gosh, yeah, there's been a lot of things. Well, like so, um, I've done a handful of tours, and every tour, I would say, I love how they turned out. They panned out. Tours are like it's all about survival mode and not crashing your vehicle, getting enough rest, eating, and like winning over an audience. And I think we did a decent job at that. So I wouldn't like relive any of that just because it's hard work. And I would love to like let it be. It's a nice badge. It's like a nice little Boy Scout badge. I'm like, I did it. Okay, I already did that. Um,
Yeah.
did a Taylor Hawkins tribute thing. I
Yeah.
have a poster, but you can't see it. I would re I would love to just relive it just because there's nothing I would change. Maybe a couple like outfit choices or whatever. But like but no, but just to hang out with those cats again. It was cool to just walk around and like talk
Yeah.
to John Paul Jones.
Mm,
That was crazy. Like that's so weird. Yeah, it was just a magical night
yeah.
and yeah, so like lately I've just been, I've been gigging like 3 or 4 times a week, so much so my friend Tommy, he's been booking these gigs and he's been such a help, but I missed a gig on accident just this last Saturday. I was at my friend's gig and I was like looking around like this is so weird. It's Saturday and then I don't have a gig. I have like 3 or 4 a week. It's like Thursday through Sunday or like one on Monday or something like something crazy. It was
Yeah.
a Saturday, and then I get a call from the owner, and he's like, where are
Where
you,
are
dude?
you?
Like, you're 45 minutes late." And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it was super far away, and
Yeah.
I would love to have you or to help me like
Yeah.
remember certain things. I do a lot of 4 hours. Um,
Wow.
yeah, a lot of like different kinds of material and it's like my day job or my night job, but it's like my bills paying job.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
but Tommy told me who booked these gigs, he's that's okay, that's happened to me. This is what happens when you start to play lots of gigs.
Mhm.
You'll miss one and I wasn't like tripping out on anything. I was just no, I was like drinking coffee when it happened. When I got the call, I was like, what? Like, so it's just weird. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I think I veered off, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily relive anything. But it's like, other than that one fun big one. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Just kind of just keeping busy, like playing. If not working on gigs, if there's no work, I was just talking to another musician yesterday. As a musician or an artist or as a freelance, whatever, if there's no work, you create work.
Mm.
So I'm learning on how to hone that in too, which is hard. It's like you gotta,
Yeah.
let's say you have a free day, you wake up and you're like, okay, let me make a thing, let me make a project happen out of thin air and make not just start it, but also make serious headway with it by the middle of the day. And then, and that's so trippy because then you start to see it come to fruition as something marketable, sellable, something that makes
Yeah.
you money. You're like, whoa, I'm like making something
Yeah.
out of nowhere. It just started as a like whatever, like on a random Tuesday. So that's like the life of a musician or an artist. We're like, okay, now let's I look for those days now because there's not many of
Right.
them. There's always rehearsals and studio and recording booked by other people. When I have a Wednesday where I'm like, I have a Wednesday off, let me create a thing, and then it turns into like a beautiful project that you start telling people, all right, this is when the rehearsal is for it, and this is when the studio is for. So
Mhm.
yeah, life's been really just like uh crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you've got to find like a balance too, don't you? Like when you do this for like full time, like what you're doing, and it's your income and it's your livelihood and it's also your passion and it's what you love to do. It's really hard though, like in a creative industry, to switch off from it as well. Like I've noticed that even with me, like a lot of my work-based stuff is through online, through social media, which is all accessible through my personal phone. And sometimes it's just like in front of you and it's really hard to like give it a rest for a minute and, put it down because it's like, yeah, you've got to find a really good balance and that sometimes can be quite difficult too, right?
Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard to turn it off. Like,
I
how do
know.
you? And I'm like trying to watch a movie. Sometimes I try to just like hang out, but I just can't relax until certain
Mm.
things are done. I don't know how to do that. I wonder if that's like also, I'm sure that's always been a thing throughout time for workaholics kind of a thing, but like maybe it's even more now in this weird new kind of age. Maybe like it's really hard to like relax a brain that's in a literal new climate. Like the earth is getting a little hotter and a little colder and like
God, I wasn't expecting the climate change conversation. We're going unhinged straight away.
oh hell yeah. Oh God.
I wasn't expect that
Yeah,
wasn't on the agenda for today.
I know. But that's what keeps it so like real. I just want to
Yeah.
talk about what's going on.
Of course, you should. Of course.
It's so hot right now.
Okay. So I'm talking
Yeah.
about climate.
Yeah, yeah, talking about climate. It is I don't even know what like the deal is, but like apparently also like because we're like at 8 billion people on planet Earth, and
Hmm.
like I think we're gonna like some science there's this website, there's like some .org website that said like scientists somewhat predict that we're gonna hit our population like our most highest population like in 50 years or something, and then our population will start declining a bit. So it's like overpopulation isn't necessarily as scary as it sounds like. I think
Yeah.
yeah, so there's like looks of that, and like it's actually I don't know what that has to necessarily do with climate, but like it does in certain aspects of it. And I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know, it's
Is
weird.
there there's probably a song coming, right?
Yeah, exactly, totally,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay. We'll hang tight and we'll wait for your beautiful perspective on climate change.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right, music vibes. And
Mhm,
I saw on social media where you've been doing like a lot of covers and you've been doing like really cool stuff for YouTube. And I
mhm.
saw, yeah, I've been seeing that you've been taking requests and you've been putting songs out there. And I thought it was really cool because it was a nice way for you to like kind of like bridge that gap between Fine Lines, which was like 3 years ago, to like now with new stuff coming. And I just wondered, like, for you, when you like cover songs and get to do that, do you really enjoy like the challenge of making something that isn't yours your own?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's super fun. In fact, I used to get a lot of flack, which is a weird word, flack, um, um, for changing it. Like a lot of like jam night sessions or whatever. Like I would change melodies. I think there's a way to do it to where it keeps the integrity of the original song, which is important. But yeah, I love changing things up, and that's how I like. I started busking very young, and like I found by the fourth weekend, you're starting to like, okay, I'm like playing this cover like so 100 times already. Like, let me just change it up. So I think it also feeds a certain child within me when I get to just tweak it and stuff. And those
Mhm.
covers are so hard. The ones I'm doing on YouTube, even if it may not sound as good as they are,
They sound
um,
amazing.
oh, thank you.
They
They're very.
do.
I realize they have a theme of etherealness, ethereality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was unintentional, but I hear like a weird thread of them all coming out like very a soundscapey a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
And what's most fun about those is like I'm producing them and recording them top to bottom scratch, editing the video and shooting it and directing it, I guess, all
Yeah.
myself. And it's like it's so fun to just like do 100% of everything and see what it is. But it's hard. It's just like it's a beautiful way to learn the mechanics of songs and stuff.
Yeah. When you did Welcome to the Black Parade, I mean, we all know it's like an emo banger. We love that song.
Yeah.
But when you did it, I was like, oh my God, I genuinely, right, this is going to sound like I'm lying, but I'm genuinely not, okay? I didn't think that song could get like any more perfect. And then I heard your version and I was like, oh my, this is so good. Derek, it's really good. I don't no, no, seriously. And I just want to say to you though about like live performances. Like for me, like I think especially in that video in particular, when I see you perform it,
Just a man, I'm not a hero. Just a boy who had to sing this song. Just a man, I'm not a hero. I don't care. We'll carry on, carry on.
I can really see like when you perform, you have like a warmth and like a passion for your craft, and I like just I don't know, you just like ooze off this like beautiful energy when you perform, and that song I don't know, I can feel like that you feel it, and I just wondered like I'm getting all that from a screen, and I haven't even seen you like live in person, so I'm getting that for a screen. So it's like for you when you perform like that, whether it be in that setting outside or at home in your garage, or whether it's in a stadium, like in your heart and in your head, what is it like to perform live?
Oh wow. Thank you for saying that. That's so amazing. Um and that song in particular, I wasn't sure if it was resonating, and that's amazing. That's really sweet. And that performing live in my heart, in my head. Wow, oh, what a cool way to word that, because like that's such a universe. And I sometimes ask friends, like, is it trippy that like non-musical friends, like, is it do you when you watch someone live, what are you experiencing? Because I don't know that feeling really.
Yeah.
And even when I go to see like a big band at the Hollywood Bowl or whatever, it's still very like I'm watching the fingers a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not just really like in it to feel it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, or I'm in it in such a different way. So, but on stage, it's like, I take it so very seriously as far as like, um, uh, I have to be as present as possible. So it's very meditative, and it's actually very easy to switch that on. I know meditation takes 20, at least 10 or 20 minutes to like think stop thinking for like a second. And
Hmm.
no, but like sometimes being on stage is very like I'm there, I see everything, I notice everybody's like, I can notice the lapel of someone's shirt. In the audience, I love to like make eye contact and be there. And um gosh, I don't I can't really describe it. It's like describing what yellow is. It's like it's very bright, and it has a
Yeah.
vibe.
And
I
I'm
don't
there
know.
and I'm on stage. Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah, like
guess it's hard to put it into words. But it's a feeling, isn't it? It's a feeling.
it's a feeling. It's such a feeling. It's such a vibe. And I think a lot of players too, like I don't know. And I think it's different for everyone too. So
Mm.
that's why it's so hard to say what it is. For me, it's such a
Hmm.
uh, like it's so invigorating too, because you're in front of people. I'm no longer nervous in front of them. That used to be a thing. Like nervous used to be like flutter butterflies and like nerves and stuff, and
Hmm.
like it feels like you're about to take a test and you have to finish it in 30 minutes or whatever. It doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels
Yeah.
like excitement, and like uh I love the one thing I do love is the spontaneity that's available. And
Mm.
and I hope other live performers realize that too. Like even in recording a video, like if I'm gonna do a lot of in that Black Parade cover is a lot of it wasn't none of it was planned really. I did like a solid acoustic and vocal take, and I built around it. And a
Nice.
lot of that was like I messed up the last verse. I don't know if anyone noticed the outro verse. I like cut. I made it one tempo roughly. I didn't like make it punk. I just kept it one similar tempo on accident. And I was like, I just think this is what I got to do right now.
But I love
And
it.
so
That's what
yeah,
live music is. That's what you want. Like you don't want perfection. That's for like the studio. That's for that.
yeah,
Live is something that you want to come away, isn't it? And like think, only I got to see that. Like this is so
yeah.
random, but there's an actress, I don't know if you know her because she's from Liverpool, which is like not a northern area near me. But Jodie Comer, you might not know of her yet because she's
Mm,
British. But she was,
Mhm.
I think I've mentioned her to you before when I talked to you about how much I loved Killing Eve years ago. But
Mhm.
she played the assassin, Villanelle in Killing Eve. And then recently she's gone on to do like films with like Ryan Reynolds and stuff. So I just didn't know if you knew her because she's getting more into Hollywood. She's just done The Bike Riders of Austin Butler. But anyway, my point
Oh,
being,
yeah, I just saw that. Yeah.
you saw
Who
it.
was she? Was she the
Jod-
lead?
Jodie Comer, yeah, yeah. She played Austin Butler's wife, Kathy.
Oh, wow, she's amazing.
Oh no, I love her.
The show, I thought, in Bike Riders. I think
Yeah,
she stole it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She often does. She's so good. And I saw her though. I was so lucky. Like, I've been like in love with her for so long. I love her. And I saw her on the West End in London a couple of years ago, and she was doing like a performance in a play, and it were a one-woman show. So it was just her on stage for 90 minutes. And I don't know how she did it every night. Sometimes she would do the matinee performance as well, so it's like two a day. But when I saw her, it was so fun because it was a live thing. And there's a point where she's got a chair like where I'm sat on now, and she rolls it under a desk, and it nearly went from underneath her. And you can see her break character subtly on stage for about 10 seconds, and she looks at everyone, she was like, she thought she was gonna fall. And I remember coming away from it going like, that was so funny, because only the people in the theater when I was there that night would know that she did that, because it's live. And everybody every night had a different experience with her. So it's just like, I don't know, there's just something so special about like a live performance. Like, it don't matter what capacity it's in. That's such a random story. I apologize.
No, my God, wow, that's so cool. And what a hard, I mean, she's doing matinee and like
Mm,
90-minute shows play. Oh my God, like the
I know.
memorization and like
I know.
oh my God,
It's
everything that
insane.
goes with it. What
It's
a badass.
yeah.
That makes me want to get up and like build something. I just want to make a mailbox or something.
Right, you've got an obsessive personality problem, I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You're like, if someone else is achieving, I have to achieve. I've got to match it. I've got to match the energy. I could
Yeah.
ask you as well, if you have recently been down any social media, TikTok, YouTube rabbit holes.
Have I? Let me see. I hate to say that I've sort of been a little bit on the shorts thing, but like YouTube shorts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
Oh, I've
this.
noticed you've been uploading a lot of them over the last few days. I've seen them.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Wow, dang, you're freaking on it. You're a journalist. Yeah, I've been posting those for sure. And but no, like no like conceptual rabbit hole, not really. I sort of been like um I've been looking into this guy named Bashar, and he's like this
Okay.
trippy. He came up on a TikTok or something, and
Yeah.
then I just wanted to study him because he's a very uh spiritual being, and a quick thing on Bashar is his name is Daryl. He's a guy from I don't know where, like Orange County or something, but
Mm-hmm.
like an alien since the 80s, an alien like possesses his mind, and he has these large it's crazy, like these large seminars,
Okay.
and he's been doing it since the late 80s, and like
Yeah.
he has him as this character named Bashar from another dimension, from another planet. So he's this like really trippy guy, and I'd
Mm.
recommend you just like watch him. And all I'm doing is I'm not saying believe in him I'm just studying him, and I've been like trying to understand what he's doing, and it's just like this crazy, like he's almost like a self-help alien.
Okay.
And it's all real. It sounds like a science fiction movie. It's a real guy doing seminars around the country as this guy, as channeling. He's channeling a guy, another being from another dimension in another solar system,
Mm.
and he
That's so
talks
cool.
really weird.
Mm.
And yeah, so I got into that. That's like my one rabbit hole, just because like I'm a fan of self-help books, and I read a lot of that, and or I have in the past, and I
Yeah.
like like even Tony Robbins and stuff like that. Like I've seen Abraham Hicks and stuff. I watch and I listen to some of that because it's such a dark world, so it's nice to have a positive light lift you a little bit. So
Sure.
I stumbled onto this weird version, like this totally D-Day version of that. It's like this like weird like alien
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
But whether you believe him or not,
Mm.
if you think he's totally fake, it doesn't matter. He's saying like really amazing things, and it's kind of like cool. Like, and that poses another question, like, why are you even doing this, or why are you doing it in this way, or how did you learn that? Like, how many years of college of
Yeah.
like psychology classes, how many of those hours have you spent learning how to talk to people and like get them over the deepest fears, how to quit smoking, how to be your best self, more present, how to whatever. People ask him like, what happens after we die? It's like, and he'll just tell you, this is what happens after you die. And he'll just like shit like that. And then also, this is how you quit smoking, or this is like the meaning of this. And like, you just, bleh, and there's no buffer time. In real time, he'll be like, blah, 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 that's the answer. And like, and that's just so weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
that's my one rabbit hole.
Okay.
I don't know if I would recommend, but it's a weird thing. Like, people should look at him.
What I love is when I started to ask you that question, you seemed like you didn't have an answer. And here we are. Everybody has a rabbit hole. Sorry. It's like you can't not be on social media and not like have a rabbit hole. Mine's looking at like restoring old like haunted mansions in America. It's always like the same. I would love to live in one. No, stop, I would. Why is that funny?
That's amazing.
No, because there's like such like cool stuff, and I like oh, don't get me started. Anyway,
I love that. I love that you haunted mansion. Like, that is so you, and like, I love that already.
Well, you know, it's all a bunch of hocus pocus. Right.
What do you think of the second Hocus Pocus?
Oh, it made me cry. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I loved it.
You cried?
I didn't cry. I just really enjoyed it, and I did feel feelings. I was like, dang, like my childhood.
I know that you're like really into, you know, like obviously music, but aside from that, I know you like cooking and hiking and nature. We've talked about that stuff before. I also know that you really like tennis. So, you know, since you also like movies, I need to know if you saw the new Challenges film. Did you see that?
Zendaya?
Yeah.
No, I really wanted to. I just like, I wasn't sure. I knew like it's about, from what I saw, it's like about tennis, but it's also about sexy tennis. And like, I don't know. I didn't I don't know if I was ready for that yet.
Anyway, right, no, I need to talk to you about your music because that's why we're here. And thank you so much. Thank you so much as well for asking me to like chat with you about it and for sharing it with me, because I didn't know if you were like doing other stuff, but when I saw it I was like, yay, new Derek stuff, because I like your own stuff. So when I saw that you were back, I was really happy.
Thank you. Love it. I love, this is nice. This is a good day.
Let's talk about your song, Derek. I need to talk about the catalyst, I think, for why we're back doing the solo stuff, because obviously you've been taking a break from that because you've been on the road so busy with your band, with Classless Act, and like we mentioned earlier, you've had like a crazy busy couple of years with the band. So it's not like you've not been doing music stuff, but then like what has been the, you know, the catalyst and the driving force now to want to go back to releasing stuff that you feel that you can do, you know?
Wow, that's greatly worded. So I comment on questions on how they're asked. I don't know why. So I haven't released anything, like you said, Fine Lines, this maybe 3 years ago. And I don't know, but I think part of that is, well, there's a lot of in this industry, you have to like plan and be tactful, and I don't know, you got to just like, if you do things like releasing is a big thing, like you don't want to just put something out, and then again sometimes you do just want to put something out. And I think the catalyst of releasing this was me feeling like in my heart of hearts, like I think it's, as an artist, we need to, part of being an artist is putting something out. Wait, I wrote this down. Can I get that?
Yeah, of course.
I wrote it down. It might really encompass exactly what I'm trying to say. Okay, sorry.
Wait,
Oh,
where was it?
it was like under my driver's seat. It's in one of these, okay, but I think it's in this one.
Okay.
Sorry,
Dear
I just went.
diary.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, good. This is. I really wanted to word it correctly because releasing music to me is like it's like taking ayahuasca or something. You know, it
Okay.
feels like I'm getting things out of me. I'm like, bleh, and
Yeah.
taking part of me and putting it out, and that's kind of why I'm very like, I don't know, like I don't do it too much. Okay, so I wrote this down. So as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
to create art and release it into the atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
has the same cosmic impact and long-lasting effects as a crash. A car, a plane, a rocket, a wave, a crash, an asteroid into a planet. It's inertia interruption, an artistic release. So the catalyst for this was like a necessity for me to, in order to continue being an artist, I needed to make a crash. I needed to crash something, um, and see the effects of it that it has on my surroundings and on the world. And it doesn't need any sort of validation from hundreds of millions of people or one person even. It just needs to happen because it's not about like the physical world, it's about it going into something. And I just felt like in my deepest heart like I needed to create a crash. It was completely, otherwise I would have probably done something really terrible or probably like jump off a bridge or something, you know, something crazy. So yeah, so
I
that's
am
kind of it.
speechless, Derek. Seriously, that was that was really beautifully put, and thank you so much for sharing that as well. When you are so free, like you are, to create the weirdest, most bizarre thing that you want to create, like you've said, like. Did you always have a confidence in yourself to be able to do that, or have you had to like learn how to be confident to just go, this is me, I want to do me the way that I want to do me, and if people like it, they like it, if they don't, they don't, but I'm confident in what I've done.
Oh wow, that's what's kind of sad and what's necessary is I think we're all born with that, and then it goes away
Mm.
for like 20 years,
Hmm.
and then after 20 years it'll come back, and I think I just came back.
When I just heard what you just like, read to me then, I'm just curious now, given the fact that you've been through something, obviously recently, has your love for music changed in any way? Has it meant more to you or anything like that that you maybe didn't realize you felt connection wise to music when we spoke about it 3 years ago compared to now? Like a lot of people say like music saved them and music can be such a good release. So I just wondered if you feel like you've fallen in love with music like even more so these days.
Everything in the last year has changed, and like how I play my instrument and how I sing and how I hear music, everything sounds really different and everything feels really different. So it's still turning into something. I don't know what it is. It's very blobby. It's everything is blobby. Like eat food is weird. And time is special. God. Time is like crazy. Like you hear the famous thing, time is a construct and everything. And I only bring up time and space and everything because like that's what music is to me. It's 4 minutes and 30 seconds of space being filled. So like everything is music, and yeah, but it's just really weird. It's like everything is really uh what's the word, like intangible. So music, right, it has changed though, and I just don't know what it is. It's like weird shadow silhouette.
Beautifully put. And I hope you're okay.
No, this is so wonderful. I can't tell you how good it feels to try to articulate this because it's so absurd. Everything is so absurd and like in a goofy way too. It's just everything is weird, and like and it's hard to articulate. And what's beautiful about making a song, the one I sent you and the one I'm going to release, is it feels so it's a sludgy sounding song. It sounds kind of sludgy, and the lyrics are sludgy. It's a little alarming, a little bit like ugly, and it feels like I'm taking a little bit of that off, and putting it on something, and it's off a little bit. It's still, there's a lot left, but it feels so good to do that. That's why it's so good for an artist to release. And I we could talk. I would love to talk about kind of what this song means, like a little bit of that, but like a lot of I think a lot of people on the business side of this industry will tell you be very conscientious of your releasing, of your marketing plan, your business, your whatever. And that's something I'm trying to talk about in this song too, about how a lot of that can really silence an artist. And it's been years, like you said, it's been years since I've released something with any band, really. So it's like, and that's not good for anyone. Like at a certain point, we have to stop. We have to stop thinking about how we're just like people wearing shirts and pants and going to work and like having to pay the light bill. Like we have to stop thinking about that, because life is so much bigger than that, and so much like the soil. Like we got to like plant our feet in some soil and realize like why is this even like a thing right now? Like this is crazy. Like what is oxygen even? Like things like that. I get it. Like life has to go on. There has to be tactic, and there has to be strategy. It's a big word used in the music industry, strategy, and lack thereof. And like, sure, like let's move things forward, but nothing will ever be moved until you break like inertia, until you stop what is stagnant or what's keeping things stagnant. Like which is like the monotony and everyday strategies to make life work. The cogs, the machine, like everyone's working on making more machines, but we're not realizing like let's stop doing that. And like now this is a little bit more of a rabbit hole, but yeah, but yeah, so I don't know. It's good. It feels good to try to articulate it because it's so absurd.
Yeah, like you do the song, get it out. Get it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely working on something. I'm definitely cooking something. So I don't
Well,
know
I'm
what it is.
excited. I always
Yeah.
love to hear what you're working on. I want to know, like, obviously, from your perspective, because you did an album with Classless and you have put out many, many songs, even though this is like your first one in a hot min. I just wondered, like, for you, what makes you think a song is ready and it's
Mm.
done and I'm ready to release this now? Like, is it a feeling thing for you? Like, are you looking for a certain barometer to measure against? Or, like, what is it? How do you know that, right, this song is done?
Oh wow, that's so cool. I'm in the process of understanding that exact thing, because this song, like this song I wrote and I'm gonna release, it's by the time this interview is out, it's probably already out. It's something it's the first thing I released that I fully produced and recorded everything and
Mm,
mic'd and like played on. I did everything on it. And
mm,
it's like it's really hard to know what or it's very daunting to say the least.
yeah.
Um for you it's a haunted house. For me it's a daunted house.
That's a nice
No,
pair. I
yeah. No, but yeah, funny, like a funny reference would be to I think Matt Stone from South Park, one of the
like
creators.
it.
There's a beautiful interview where he's just like he's talking about like uh the first week of South Park, the first time he like made South Park, the first episode, he's
Yeah.
like putting literal pieces of stop motion together, and he's like running behind, like light years behind, and it needs to be released in like an hour,
Yeah.
and he's like still putting together the
Yeah.
last bit. And like the producers come in like, we need it like right now. And he's like, no, I'm almost done. Like, wait. And he's like almost done.
Yeah.
And he says now, looking back on that time, he's like, if I spent another year on that, like perfecting it to my likings, it would have been maybe 5% better.
Mm.
Like it's sure, like, but totally unnecessary. So a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah, right. Like, so I'm like, well, a lot of what I'm doing now is looking at things as a creator or as like as a producer. I'm saying what is necessary and what cuts. Like, what's the thing that is gonna chop the tree down? Like,
Yeah.
you have to get it down no matter what. So like, just do it. So it's kind of like, as long as the message is said and like it doesn't like sound really shitty, like it doesn't sound like really like distorted or whatever, like as on the technical side it's sounding good enough or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll do the job. It'll be
Yeah.
like all those Beatles records, like Love Me Do. It'll just sound perfect the way it is. It does its job.
Yeah.
So each song has its own version of that. Like, oh, we got the tambourine sounds, it's moving the chorus. That's
Yeah.
good. As long as it does that, let's export it, let's put it out. But sometimes it does take minuscule minutia to like tweak for
Of course.
months. Like on this song, I used 3 different shakers.
Okay.
And one was too thick and it was just sounding, it was sludging it more, and I needed something a little lighter because everything else was sludgy. And so like it was sometimes it takes, and that process, the shaker process can take so long. It can take weeks.
Yeah.
Because you also need to take a break from it. Like you hear it and then like, all right, let me listen to some other stuff I'm working on. And then you come back like, oh, obviously it's not that shaker. So it's like a lot of that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you just said that you did everything on it, that's pretty impressive. It's very Prince of you, you know, because he used to do everything, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, that's like really cool that you get to do that, because, you know, it's really fully 100% like authentically you, which is what we love. We love it.
Yes.
And of course, Laughter House is the title of the track. Have you come up with an official release day now? Is it Saturday? Is it Monday? It's okay if you haven't. I'm just it's soon.
So funny. Dude, that's so funny. Well, tomorrow is Saturday, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Monday. That's so funny. We were talking. I told you when we set this up. I was like, it's either Saturday or Monday. Like one of those. It's like it's so not like August the 27th, 2024. Yeah. It's not anything like that. It used to be like that, but now it's like it's got to be like on a Monday or something like that. Like I don't know.
It'll be fine. Just drop it when it's hot. Drop it. Yeah. No, it'll be fine. Yeah, so Monday, maybe. I'm excited for you to put this out. And do you want to talk about what you hope people will take away from it, and, you know, the message a little bit? Because like you've just mentioned that it's like a slight, like, I would say like pepper, like sour pepper sprinkle of like music world stuff. So yeah, how much of the message do you want to talk about, and what do you actually hope that people are gonna take away from it when they watch the video and listen to the track?
Oh, great. I don't want to. I do this so much where I dive into what each word, each sentence means, and I'm gonna try not to, because I would love to have. I mean, even on like the YouTube comments, I would love to ask people to like tell me what you think this line means and that line means.
Yeah.
And that's why I made it a lyric video. Like, I want to know what you think it's meaning. It'll help me also see if it's cutting through. My English teacher / drama teacher, he passed away now, but his name is Jack Friss, and he's a genius. And one of my favorite things he told me, he just spat it out while changing periods, because he sent me a demo of a song he wanted me to play guitar on. And I was like, so what does this song mean, Mr. Friss? And he's like, no, that's not the question. The question is, what do you think it means? And I'm like, boom. And I was like in 12th grade, and I was like, that's what it's all about. Yeah. But no, so overall, in general, or not in general, I'll still try to keep it vague. And this song is very farm themed, and it's so lovely how everything works, because I just did something, like I did a taping yesterday of something that'll be on Peacock. I can't talk about it. Okay. But it's like farm themed. It's like weird, like how like everything is like a little farm thing. Like everything around me, I'm seeing more cows now. It's funny. It's weird.
No, because like you're not gonna if you keep eating them all.
I know.
Sorry. Oh,
I know.
no. But anyway,
I didn't
moving
think that
on.
would really freak people out that much.
That's not normal. But okay.
That's not normal.
No,
It was
it's
good
not.
though.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, it's a thing. It's like, keep going. Sorry.
No, that's amazing. So are you vegetarian at all?
No, so maybe I'm more
Ooh.
pescatarian with a bit of chicken in there.
Ah, yeah, pesky. You're a pesky eater.
Yeah.
Poultry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll just cut right through it. This song is like a little bit of a, like you said, it has like a little bit of a salty pepper tart taste on my experiences in the music industry, but it's not necessarily about the music industry just by itself. It's really about anything that packages a product and sells it, and the process of that. It seems very like it's so manufactured. A lot of things are very manufactured, and like me releasing the song like on a whim with a capital H, is totally like me acting in respect to the song. Like, let's just put something out without dressing it up so much,
Sure.
churning so much, throwing shit in there so much. Because I also made it really quickly. Like, I started making it on my laptop on tour when I was touring with Sebastian Bach.
Wow.
And it was just
Okay.
in between shows, like backstage in the green room while they're playing. It's just like boom, boom. You hear their kick, and I'm like trying to like put like a
Stop
drum
motion.
Yeah, I did it as soon as I came home from tour. So I did stop
Yeah.
motion. I moved a little cow, took a picture, cow kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
I
was
feel
so
it.
fun though.
Yeah, it is fun. It's just so long. Like, I really have like an appreciation for people that do like Wallace and Gromit and stuff like that. Even though I don't really watch anything like that, but it's like, whoa, that is so incredible that they can do that. And for so many episodes, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's hard work. Like, it's really hard to do. And to make it like match anyway.
Yeah. Oh, talking about Tim Burton, a lot of that stuff is
Yeah,
incredible.
Nightmare Before Christmas, everything. Yeah.
Looking at the miniature scales of things that like from behind the scenes, like they like showing like the detail, the artist's detail is incredible. Like, God, I could never know how to do that. That's insane.
So amazing. And you brought that up, but I saw on TikTok literally the other day that the people who sculpted Jack Skellington, they made 20 different facial expressions for him that they had to keep swapping in and out for every time he moved his voice. So it's like,
Wow.
like, that is insane. Like, imagine how long that takes. Like, and that's with professionals as well. Like, that's so cool.
That's so cool. They're doing
Yeah.
it like old school. I love that.
Yeah, of course.
So this is like essentially it's a song about like any industry kind of forcing down bad tasting or not good for you tasting products down your throat, you know, things that are bad for your gut health and your spiritual gut health.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's like the, you know, it's Laughter House. It's about a slaughterhouse, and it's like it's very deceptive, and it's got a rock opera vibe. I realize now. It's like the main character is me sort of uh I'm playing the main character, the guy singing, the guy that's in control of the corporations and like wants to, you know, yeah, just kind of sort of mass it like it's not it sounds like it's about mass murder, but it's not. It's really more about mass manipulation,
Yeah.
mass control. So
Mhm.
that's kind of the idea. And like I'd love to, but each line I worked really hard on the lyrics. Like I spent, when I write lyrics too, I don't really write a line, cross it out and fix it. I do this, I kind of like for like an hour, and I'm like, oh, that's it, and I write it down, and I try not to write it down until
Yeah.
it's in here, and I'm like, that's the one, and then later as I'm recording it, it works. It always changes a little bit when you're recording, so you're like, that's when you change. Oh, instead of and, I'll put but, you know,
Yeah.
and then you could sort of tweak a little, but I try not to. So like
Yeah.
each line talks about a certain part of the industry or a certain kind of thing. Like I reference a little bit Alice in Wonderland and like a little bit, you know, I don't have them in front of me, but like just like you know, certain types of products like people are being used are using to like sedate themselves, and stuff like that. Like, um, yeah, I don't know. And some of it's just fun. Like, it's always good to just throw like, oh, here's a dumb little line just for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
just it's a like I know
Yeah.
like Kurt Cobain did that a lot. Like
Yeah.
watching his stuff. So I'm just saying, I'm like I revere him for doing that too, because he would say like people look into my songs. It's just a bunch of words that sound good together.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and he's saying that to just piss off the interviewer,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I know I can tell he's sort of like partially truthful, like in the sense where like no, sometimes things just rhyme really well, and I just
Mm.
wanted to like, and the song needed that levity. It just needed something kind of silly because then otherwise it's like too
Super
dark or
dark. Yeah.
yeah, too
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, I love that though. And I feel like, there's definitely like a creative freedom in that. And I think it's really cool. And it's like, I did tell you already that I thought it was like bonkers and bizarre, but in the best way. And that's like the best way to describe it for me anyway. And when I watched it, I was like, oh, but this is so Derek Day. Like only you could do stuff like that though. Like it's so signature you. So yeah, no, I love the fact that you're back and you've got new music coming and of course a video that people can watch as well. And like you say, a lyric video attached to that animation. So yeah,
Mhm.
and like what are you doing in terms of like extra releases? Are you able to talk about what's next or tease anybody? Is this going to be like a few releases or is it just this song for a minute? And it's because you said like, you need to get that out and it's something that you thought like, I'm ready. I need to just put this out there. Yeah, like what's coming?
like this is the first of many little hellos, little winks I'll be sharing with the world. Like the
Yeah,
covers and stuff, like you mentioned earlier, was my kind of preparation to uh, edit and film and direct or whatever,
sure.
record myself. Laughter House, I should say, is like okay. Now let me do all that to an original song and blah blah blah. And
Uh-huh.
so you'll see a lot more of that, yeah. And
Yeah.
so I've been in the studio just throughout the months recording whatever like original music and stuff and with actual players and like
Okay, great.
with other and with another bass player just to feel out their stuff and
Mhm.
it was really just more of experimenting and like trying to feel stuff but as the saying goes sometimes it's just ready to drop. It's just like oh if it's things are made and maybe they'll just be thrown out to the people. I don't know.
Yeah, Derek Day stuff is like its own thing, and I love that. Just to kind of like wrap up because we've been on for so long, we'll have to like definitely do like another one because I've got so many things in my head that I want to ask you. Because it's been
Yeah.
so long. If you were to put out an autobiography at this point, what do you think the title of your autobiography would be?
Whoa. uh
Pressure. It's
so
like in
crazy.
Pretty Woman when she's like, "Oh, the pressure of a name."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um, I would call it When Everything Winks.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I buy it.
You buy it?
I
Yeah,
buy
when
it.
everything winks. And I guess
Yeah.
and again, and this would be at this point, and I'm sure there'll be a sequel. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like just paying attention to everything and like because right now like I'm in a state of mind where I notice every stop sign, every red light that turns green.
Yeah.
I notice it. So everything like and and by everything I mean like literally everything, like as in literal in the literal world, but also like total metaphysical, like you could call it karma, you could call it the universe, you call it religion, whatever. But I just call it everything. So
Yeah.
like yeah, sometimes I've noticed that there's a lot of little like winks. They call it a wink and a nod is like,
Yeah.
it's the terminology for like an understanding and a little, I don't know, a little nudge sometimes. I
Sure.
notice that a lot. Like things flow very easily. If you flow with it,
Mm.
it's all meant to kind of be there, sort of. So yeah, when everything winks. Yeah.
Derek, thank you so much. I can't even believe how long this has been, and I feel like we've not been able to talk about so much of the song stuff. So, like, please do come back and say hello. again, it's been such a pleasure, and thank you so much for like talking to me about your new stuff. And I'm so excited, and congrats. It's so cool.
Thank you so much. Wait, let's do the Halloween spooky thing, and can we do costumes or like something similar? Like,
Shut
are
up.
you down?
Are you?
You are so spooky. You're Halloween.
Bye.